Hello, everybody. This is kind of a precursor to the beginning. Just want to let you know we're all waiting for several more people to attend. So we'll begin the official program in a couple of minutes here. If you're just recently joining us, we're waiting for a few more attendees to join before we begin the official program. We're going to give people another minute or so here to join, because I know weather is affecting some people. So we're going to delay just another minute or two before we get the session going.
Oops.
I think out of respect for everyone's time, we'll go ahead and get going here. I want to welcome everyone to the ASHI Leadership Chapter Presidents meeting this evening. As you join, you're actually on mute tonight. That's to help cut back some of the feedback and things that sometimes go on. I am your president, John Wessling, 2022 president of ASHI. On the slide that will be coming up in just a minute, you'll see the different presenters for tonight. Participating will be 2022 ASHI board members, MRC committee members, obviously all of you who are attending, a couple of staff members. Again, when you joined, we have muted everyone to help prevent feedback. If you have questions that come up in between the session slides, please either type it in the chat line or hang it to try to hold on to it until the end of the session this evening. That way we can try to respect everyone's time and be a little bit more efficient here. Your questions are important, so don't forget to ask them. But again, if everybody could hold on to the end, that would be great. The slide that's up right now does show your presenters tonight. It's myself, John Wessling, your president, Britt Gabor, who is the MRC chair, Mark Goodman, who is an ASHI board member, as well as served as liaison for the MRC for a couple of years. Todd Edley, who's in MRC legislation subchapter, and Susan Lane, who is your staff liaison. Next slide, please, Stephanie. So tonight we're going to go through, because a lot of people, MRC is a relatively new committee. It was formed a couple of years ago. So we're going to go through a little bit of the role of MRC, the importance of what chapters are, and how they interrelate with ASHI. Todd's going to speak to our legislation efforts, trying to keep members informed. I'll speak a little bit toward mentoring. We're going to give you some updates on education and presence of education, some communications, updating the web profiles for individual members, and then again at the end, we will have questions and answers. Next slide, please.
All right. So this is where we're going to engage all of you to be participants in our webinar today. So after I read the question, you're going to see a polling feature come up, and we're going to ask you to vote. And after 1 minute, the results will come up. So the first question, our poll number 1, is how often would this group like to meet this year? Please select one of the following. And Stephanie, once we have a good majority, then we can stop the poll.
All right, we're at 83%. Would you like me to go ahead and show you
Yeah.
the results? Okay.
All right. Quarterly was the number 1 answer. So thank you for that. This helps us gauge on how often we will put these meetings together for everyone. All right, we can go back to the slides. Are we experiencing some technical difficulty?
Give me one moment. Sorry. Yes, I had a little bit of a hiccup.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that.
So thanks, everyone. This is the first time we're trying out this new polling feature, so thanks for your patience. Okay, Brick, you are up.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. I had to run in because it's 5 o'clock for me here, so I left my camera off. But the Member Relations Committee is a very important part of ASHI. It took over for the core. And if you take a look at your screen there, we make recommendations and receive recommendations from you, the members. And then we take those questions we might have to the ASHI board. It's great for membership value, chapter relations, and government relations. We make recommendations to the ASHI board about new and programs to improve membership value. You have email, you can send it to us through any staff member, and then we'll get it and we'll work on it and then we'll respond back to you. We monitor and when appropriate assist with state and federal legislative issues and licensing other regulatory issues. That's something that Todd will talk to in a moment. Make recommendations to the ASHI board about programs to assist struggling chapters and ineffective chapters. Now, when we say that, all of you have the opportunity to call or email the MRC and we'll work. We have a lot of programs for you with free education, free web development, as far as using the programs like this so you can hold your meetings. We have ASHI staff with developing training programs for chapter leaders, and our person we're working with is Susan Lane. She's been great. She's hit the road running. A perfect job this year. Thank you.
Next slide, Stephanie.
So part of the MRC, we have 3 different areas in that, and we have sub functions also. So we deal with the chapters, the members as a whole, and members of chapter. Legislation is the states have different areas. So if you take a look here at the screen, membership, we want to help improve different areas for membership and develop different concepts that you as a member would like us to do and work for you. Legislative, government agencies are trying to license in different areas, and where they have licensed, ASHI is leading the way, and that's one of the things we want to work for. So again, I'm taking some of Todd's thunder here, but Todd will talk about that. Chapter relations, if you're not in a chapter and would like to join a chapter, we have lists of different chapters that are available for you to join. We also have online chapters that you can come to. We have meeting groups. There's a lot of items out there. We just want you to find out about them by telling you, and then you can tell us what you'd like to have done. Thank you.
Great.
Is mine also?
No, this is me, Brick.
Okay, go
But
ahead.
Brick, don't you have a couple of other committees that don't fall into that realm? Didn't you do something with multi-inspector and women recently?
Yes, yes. Along with those groups, also we have subgroups, and one of the things that that the MRC can do, we can make other meeting groups and put chairmen in for different groups. So right now we just started one called the Women in ASHI. This is going to be, I think, a very powerful new group. So if you're a woman and would like to join that group, you can send us some information about that. One of those pictures shows everybody how excited they are. You can see the picture at the top right. We said, hey, MRC's ready to work for you, and they couldn't restrain themselves. But our subcommittees are very important. We have a mentorship program that's available, and if anyone would like to join a subcommittee, you can. We can put you on that subcommittee tomorrow. Just send us an email. Is that it, Mark, or more?
Yep. No, that's
Okay.
perfect. The chapter system offers us some unique opportunities. And so the importance of the chapters is really important because that's roughly 50% of our membership. It offers opportunities, camaraderie, for engaging with your peers, for developing a support system. So we do have the national mentoring program, but you can have a local mentoring program as part of your chapter. And that's a great thing to do to get the new people moving up, to get them to move up the line from associate to inspector to ACI. And it can also help inspectors that have been around a long time. We always have that question when we're writing a report that we need a little bit of advice on at 10 o'clock at night. It's a great source for that. So it's a way to connect with your colleagues and peers, develop roles, and get involved in leadership. Get involved in leadership either on a committee or as an officer in your local chapter. And then if you desire to, you can move up to the national level. And it gives the chapters a great opportunity for local education, which is something that ASHI National really can't do well. We can do well with the ASHI Edge and with national education, but it gives you an opportunity. So we have programs like the Education Roadshow to help you if you need help to put on a seminar or a conference. So there's a lot of things that you can do with a chapter that gives ASHI a competitive edge and helps the members locally. So they're really important to us. We value them and we do our best to support them. And if there's anything that you need in terms of helping with support for your chapter, reach out to any of us. Reach out to staff, the MRC, anybody on the board, and we are more than happy to extend our arm and do whatever we can to help your chapter thrive and be more successful.
Thank you, Mark.
Stephanie, a couple slides ahead.
I have a little bit of lag. Give me one moment.
Sure.
Yeah, I wasn't moving quickly. Sorry.
If they have a question, are they able to type into the chat or not?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Todd Edley with the Legislative Committee. We're a subcommittee of the MRC, and our goal is to educate everybody with the different legislation going on throughout the country. Last year in 2021, we reviewed 663 legislations, and this year we've currently sent out to 20 different states, and that number is growing rapidly. Our goal is to inform everybody of what's going on before it happens, or what's happened, or what's been approved, or what's been denied, basically throughout the country. We do have some new software coming up where you'll be able to click on your state and anything pertaining to that state will just show up right there. So if you're in Colorado, you just click on Colorado. We're only a couple months away from that being live and running. And that's really going to make things easy for everybody. Susan, you got anything?
No, that's
How
awesome.
do they get to that, Todd? Where is this hidden away?
Right now, the map,
Yes.
this is not available to them yet. This is part of our new iTrack system that we're implementing right now. It will be available and live shortly.
Excellent.
This will be on the ASHI webpage if that's what you're asking.
Right. Yeah. You have to sign in as a member, and once you
Yes.
sign in, then you'll be able to go to the page, click on it, and get information immediately. Right
Yes.
now, we're sending out emails so that it's time sensitive, so you get that information. So if you've been getting that from Susan, she's been sending out these notifications. Todd's been putting them together. It's a pretty resourceful thing, everybody. So if you say, "Oh, I haven't received anything," well, your state not trying to license you, so hooray. But this program, you're going to really like it, and I think it's going to work well. Thank you.
Rick, I might just add on that. It's not necessarily license you. Some states have licensing and they want to modify that as well. So it's to keep everybody informed of any of those changes that our legislators might be trying to implement on home inspectors. Some are good changes.
I'll have to take back what I
Some are
said.
not.
Can
Yes.
I take back what I said? Sure. They might want to modify the way you're licensed or change something, but a lot of this information is pre-licensing, post-licensing. It's really great information, and ASHI is leading the way for your benefit.
All right, we'll move on to mentoring at this point. Mark actually kind of hit on it a little bit about chapter level. Mentoring is something we all do. It's something that most people do and don't realize they're doing it. We decided a couple of years ago, and this has been a push ever since I've been involved with the old Corps, and a gentleman by the name of Tony Smith. And Tony stepped back and I said, "Tony, I'm grabbing it and we're going to run." So a couple of years ago, we did actually launch the mentoring program. Lisa Giroux, who is also on this call, I believe, and I are kind of leading that charge. We promised we won't let it die. Susan came in and said, "Oh, this looks like a fantastic program." So real quick, what mentoring is, it's inspectors sharing information. We all love to tell stories. We all love to share what we know with one another. In a nutshell, that's what it is. It is not necessarily limited to your backyard for coverage. It's whoever, wherever across the US or potentially even international. It's sharing knowledge with somebody else. Sometimes that person, the mentee or the protege, will share something to me that I may learn from them. They have a skill set that I may not know. A lot of I'll say the new digital stuff coming up, they can blow me away with. But I know a lot of the ins and outs of the home inspection, just like everybody else here. So it can be a two-way street. It's us sharing our information, our knowledge, our experience with a younger inspector, but I also need to remind myself I need to be open because they can teach me things on digital and computer stuff that I have no concept or clue on. At this point in time, starting, we do want the person who is mentoring, the mentor, to be an ACI or a retired status, preferably a practicing inspector, but you're recently retired, they're all going to be up on everything going on right now, and they've got a lot of wisdom and experience to share anyway. Because mentoring is not just about the inspection. It's about the entire business of being a professional home inspector. So it's not specific inspection questions necessarily. It can be, hey, how do I build up my business? What can I do for value add so that when I do go to exit my company as a company and sell it to somebody, that I have value to? You know, people up in Washington State have shared information with me that people in Missouri would not dare share with me because they're afraid I'm going to steal their knowledge, okay, or steal their ideas. But when you go across state lines, people tend to be a little bit more open. So the mentoring program nationally is more set to be outside of your geographic region for that reason, because we want people to be willing to build a relationship sharing knowledge, preferably both ways. Why did we grab 5 years of experience as an ACI? That's just where we started. Had to start somewhere. The group that came together with some of these concepts said, let's start with 5 years of experience. A lot of other things within ASHI also have that 5-year kind of ballpark to be involved on a national level. That's the only reason why we picked it. We have enough people saying 3 and 4 years. It's something we can entertain. It's not set in stone. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands this program is a fluid program. It's going to mentor itself into where it needs to evolve to play on that word mentor. It's a fluid program designed to bring benefit to all the inspectors who are willing to share that knowledge and experience with younger and in some cases older inspectors. If you want to be a mentor, please sign up. We're going to try to hold quarterly events for I say training, I hate training. I say development or idea sharing. Training is what I do with my dog, and that's unfortunately the way I look at the word training. To me, training has a negative stigma. I like to develop and educate and share wealth and wisdom with others. We're going to try to do that quarterly. Right now, I believe we've had 35 to 40 who have gone through that program. And I think we have a list of somewhere around 300 or 400 people who would like to have a mentor. So there's a need. That need could be a couple of phone calls. That need may develop into a long-term relationship. It's really fluid. It's designed to be what the mentor and the mentee or protege want to develop in that relationship. It might be a few quick, simple questions. It might be getting together for coffee if you're close enough. It might be, hey, on summer vacation, I'm going to come through because you're up in Wyoming and I want to come to Wyoming. So let's meet. It's very fluid, very open. It's an information exchange platform. Next slide.
Oh, it's me. So we would like to know or get an idea from all of you what types of topics you would like for us to cover in the future when we do meet quarterly, as some ideas for us in preparing for the next meeting. So Stephanie, if you want to launch the next poll.
Well, that poll's launching. We have 5 other people who've signed in.
So for those just joining, what we're asking is if you could just select from one of the following and let us know what topics, if any of them listed are of interest, or you can hit other and I will follow up with the group afterwards.
And thank you for joining us this evening.
Absolutely.
But Susan, how do they get a hold of you? Are we going to put your email up there later?
My email is very easy. It's just susanl@ashy.org. Or you can email membership@ashy.org. Oh, looky there, education. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
On this poll, can I ask what financials means?
Financials, Brock, would just be if you do a monthly statement, it could be your budget.
Like bookkeeping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Working with the bank. So it's a very broad topic.
Okay. Are we going to be talking about the edge tonight?
We are.
Okay.
It's coming. So next slide, education.
Who's this?
This is you, Brick.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hey, what a segue into this. Education's a component of ASHI. One of the new programs we have is the Edge, and it says ASHI Edge on the side of the slide here. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but it's right there. It's right there on the slide. You sign in. No more of this signing in 3 times and having it crash. You sign in, and once you get there, you start clicking on education. It is fantastic. I love it. Now, CEs, these are, what does the word CE stand for?
Continuing education.
Continuing education. Okay. So continuing education is the benchmark of how ASHI gives you education over time. And in your when you sign in, there's a page there where you can go ahead and click. It's interactive. I tried it tonight. I was very happy the way it works. It's fantastic. Again, it's working. So new CE form coming. This is for the chapters. And what happens once the form is submitted, the ASHI Edge right there in the middle of the page, where to find it, state approvals, and suggested content and topics. The Edge is a fantastic new program that's been developed by staff and the rest of the people at ASHI. And a lot of people worked on this thing. It's an excellent education item. You have over 200 also PowerPoints available for your chapters. There's a lot of free education, and a lot of you are probably sitting back in your chairs and going nuts and going, what? Yeah, free. It's for the chapters. It's available. All you have to do is get a hold of, I'm sorry, say what, Susan?
Sorry to interrupt you, but we're going to be talking more about that in a couple slides.
Oh, then let's move on. I'm done. Thank you.
No, that's fine.
I get all excited when I see the word free. That's it for that. That's it for this one. Education is number one.
Yep. If Stephanie, if you could go to the next slide, and Britt can tell us more about this chapter CE online form.
Okay, so the chapter online form, again, you sign in as a member, and then the form is available to you right there. And then you can go ahead and submit your form for getting CE credits for your education at the chapter level. It's pretty simple, 50 minutes per hour, contact hour. So if you schedule an hour and a half, I didn't realize the math. That's not 110 minutes. So you need to go 1 hour and 40 minutes. So that's what's really important. So take a look at the slide here. Down at the bottom is the link. You don't need to worry about that. As soon as you sign in, it's very available to you. If you want to contact her or anyone else at stafeducation@ashi.org or Susan L. at ashi.org, is that correct?
It is.
Yeah, okay. I think that's it, unless there's something else. This is really impressive, everybody. It's easy, simple, submit your information and kaboom, it goes in, and you have credit availability for your members. Something easy to do.
Absolutely. So Stephanie, if you could go to the next slide, please. So as Brick just kind of spoke about, the new CE form is available now. So what we've done is we wanted to make it easy, and we listened to all of your feedback on making this form as easy as it can be. So when you have a moment in your very busy day that you can go online and do this. So what I want to stress is that you have to be logged in, and once you go to the CE form, you click member. Once you click member, you don't have to enter a code. You don't have to see anything about payment. That is all removed. All you have to do is enter in that important information that we need from you as a chapter so we can get the CE for you. So Rick also said that we need to make sure that they're 50 minutes per CE or one CE. Other important things is please have it to us to give us time within 15 business days of sending it in. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, but education@ashi.org is a team that manages this process for us.
Yeah, Susan, I want to add one other item. That the nice thing about this, it says complete the online form 30 days before scheduled activity. A lot of you go, well, we don't know what we're doing 30 days before. Well, you have a conceptual idea. So that you're going to have to move along and decide that. We know that some speakers don't show up. It's okay. We'll get an alternative in there, and Susan's going to work with you. The idea is to make it simple and easy. If you have an IW speaker that spoke and got state approvals for education for your state, this is part of this that's in the CE approval. Also, she'll be able to tell or look up and tell you that they were approved, and sometimes there's a 1-year approval for them to give you your state approval credits also. It's pretty powerful, everybody. This is a great program, and we want you to use it.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
So now here's the ASHI Edge. Mark.
So in November of last year, the ASHI Edge was launched. It's a new learning management program to replace the old one. It's cutting edge. And to go along with that, we've got some great new courses and new content. So we've got a a plumbing and water conditioning course. We've got a structural course, a plumbing water service course, inspecting roofs, exterior wall covering, and in mid-April, we're going to have a new electrical CE courses. So these are all brand new courses that are cutting edge, and we still have all the old content, and they have a pretty robust schedule for producing new, exciting courses. And if there's anything you'd like to see that's not out there now, or you think needs to be improved upon, I encourage you to reach out to education@ashy.org, and they'll be happy to consider that. And it may take a while for them to do that because they already have a pretty extensive list of improved courses and new and exciting courses that they're going to roll out. Currently, we've got 1,759 members that are using the Edge. Course completions in March was 1,727. So these are pretty good numbers, and it's a very engaging platform. I encourage you all to check it out.
Hey, Mark, can I ask you a question about this? You said 1,700 members. So chapters with the new hybrid model that we've gone over since COVID, they're allowed to go ahead and use part of this online education for the hybrid model and also for the people that might be on site. Is that what the new package that ASHI's putting together?
They can, provided they have decent bandwidth, and we'll be talking about other resources for chapter education a little bit later in this program.
Thank you.
I just want to add one thing because the question does come up. Susan, you already mentioned that when you register, if you are a registered ASHI member or above, it is free. The
Yes.
price that you see listed, if you know any other inspector who is not an ASHI member at this point in time, they can pay the price and take the course. So
Yes.
this is open to all inspectors. It's a free benefit if you happen to be an ASHI member.
Correct. Great.
Excellent.
So Stephanie, yep. So within the ASHI Edge, because there has been some questions about how do I get there? How do I find what courses are approved in my state if my state requires approvals? So on the slide, I just want to share that once you log in as yourself onto the ASHI website, you can click on education and then go to ASHI Edge. Once you click on that, it automatically links you to ASHI Edge. You'll see your name at the top of the screen. You'll see that you're in there. You shouldn't see any prices for you to pay or add things to your cart. So that's how you get on. The second thing that I have up on the screen is we get a lot of calls and emails about what courses are approved. So once you're in, you can click on course catalog, which is there on the right-hand side. Then you click on, there's a little thing there, and then you can search by your state. Once you select your state, which this one is Tennessee, it'll pull up all the classes that are currently approved within your state if your state requires it. So please share this with your members. I'm more than happy to share this slide with you as well. I know there's been a lot of questions that I know my team on the membership side has received, so that's why I wanted to share this with you today.
Yeah, Susan, can I ask you a question? After they take that course, do they get a notification that they passed? How do they know that they've actually gotten credit for it?
Absolutely. So once they finish it, there's a certificate that will pop up. It'll let you know if there's an exam and all that good stuff. It's very self and just kind of walks you through the process.
Okay, does it go into their new dashboard area?
It'll be in their personal dashboard on ASHI Edge, yes.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. So you're able to go to your dashboard and find your CE credits after you go through the Edge. You also can print a certificate if you'd like, or have it sent to you. It's pretty powerful, everybody. If you haven't been there, I had somebody say to me, well, when are you going to do some education? Well, here it is, ASHI Edge. Thank you, Susan. Great job.
You're welcome. So next, another big question that we receive quite often is how can I communicate what's happening within my chapter? So the first way that you can do that is through the reporter, which does come out every month, and it is received by all members within ASHI. So Because we work in advance, about a month and a half in advance of each issue, listed below is the issues for the rest of 2022 and when the articles are due. We do ask that if you have an article, we prefer that you follow the link that's on the website, and I can follow up with that link after this message, after our meeting today. I can send it out tomorrow, but we do ask that you submit it via the website under media. But again, I'll send that link. Or you can certainly send it to my attention or communications@ashy.org.
While we're on this page, before we leave, you can go
Yep.
to the top of the page where it says screenshot everybody. Click on that. It'll take a JPEG picture of this so you don't have to keep writing down dates. So
Right, and Rick, we're also recording this, so we will also put this on the website, but great point. I do plan to put these dates up for everyone to see as well.
thank you.
Welcome. So the next slide is when the ASHI newsletter deadlines are. So as you can see, if you want to get anything in from May, that date is April 20th. You can send that to communications@ashy.org and then copy me, Susan L. @ashy.org, and we'll make sure that it's in the upcoming issue. I only listed the first 4 on the website. Following probably this week, early next week will be the full list for the entire.
So
What's
Susan,
the
just to
amount for this?
expand upon this a little bit, this is for a great opportunity for you to list your events coming up so that you can publicize it to other ASHI members that may want to join in. And it's also a great opportunity for you to submit articles on what your chapter is doing so that you can pass that information along and help other chapters. It's also, both of these last 2 slides are great opportunities for somebody that has a lot of technical knowledge that would like to submit a technical article to be included in the reporter. So I encourage you to take advantage of this. And all these dates will be added to the chapter resource page.
Right, and I can speak to this. Arizona ASHI does education every other Tuesday, and we were in this newsletter. Susan did a great job of putting that in there. We had members of ASHI signing in from other states about new construction. It was pretty awesome. So last night we had members from Carolina and a state called Georgia, besides Arizona. So pretty powerful.
Okay.
That's you.
So on the ASHI website, if you're logged in and if you click on your dashboard in the upper right-hand corner at the top bar, you'll see a menu that comes up on the right side, and you scroll down and click on chapter resources, and that will take you to this page. This page has a lot of good information, and we're constantly looking to add to it, but we have a template that you could use for a chapter policy. If you need a chapter policy or you want to update a chapter policy, we also have some educational resources. So we have the ASHI Education Roadshow that I talked about. There's something here on this page that talks about that, including an application for it. We also have some education planning resources, where to find national speakers, where to find low-cost, free local speakers. I'll give you one tidbit. A great resource for speakers at no cost is manufacturers. Manufacturers put hundreds of thousands of dollars in education to train their installers and the people selling their product. And they are thrilled to death to come out and talk to your chapter. I'll give you a prime example. A couple of years ago, we reached out to Omegaflex because of CSST and bonding when it was a really hot button topic. I talked to the local manufacturer's rep. He flew in their chief engineer from Philadelphia to do a 1-hour talk on a weeknight. They love this and they're more than happy to do it. So there's a lot of resources in how to find speakers, whether you're looking for a national speaker, a paid speaker, or a low-cost speaker. There's also, I believe, 6 presentations that are downloadable. They're PowerPoints. So if you need a presentation, a speaker fell out, you want to do a topic, there's some presentations you can use here. You just need somebody to present it. And we're continuing to look for additional presentations to add to this to give you more choices. So with this case, you don't have to worry about bandwidth because it's something you can download and you have on site. And then there's also some marketing and outreach things. And then there's a 6-minute video that tells you how to update and maintain your chapter profile page. So there is an administrator assigned to chapter profile page, and it is typically automatically the president unless you require to be somebody else. So the president of every chapter has administrative options. When you go to your chapter profile, if you're the president or whoever the administrator is, you should see the ability up at the top right corner to edit it. And if you don't do that, see that, you should reach out to Susan. If you want it to be somebody else, reach out to Susan. They have the ability to set up 2 administrators for it, but you should watch this video and it'll tell you how to update it and so that you can make sure your chapter profile is updated on the ASHI website.
Thanks, Mark. So we're going to follow up with the next poll, which is what information would you like to see added to the chapter research page on the ASHI website? And again, we kind of pre-populated some of these, but we'd love to hear what you all think from our suggestions. For those new that it may have just joined, please fill out the poll. All right. Oh, looks like we have a tie. Membership recruitment or membership engagement, great topics. Thank you for filling that out. All right. So John, you're up, I believe.
Yes, actually IW is up. So looking forward to IW 2023. Registration to open in August. Planet Hollywood Resorts and Casino in Las Vegas. End of January. It's actually January 29th. Oh, and there's Brick's camera. It decided to pop on. Hi, Brick.
Hi,
Just in time for IW.
thank you.
We are excited about coming back to live education and live IW. Hoping to have a knockout of the world type event saying welcome back. We're glad you're all back and thanks for standing with the education of ASHI. Again, registration is to open in August. Working on the education platforms right now. We've got several manufacturers who are very interested in helping with us. I understand one might be putting together 2 or 3 different segments to be spread out throughout the course of education. If we have enough participation on manufacturers, we may just have a manufacturer's track as well as the other tracks going on. We're excited about this. We are looking for more. If you know of a speaker that you love to hear about on a good product, technique, trade in the industry, let us know. Not too late to think about including them. They did officially miss the deadline for participation of the proposals, but that's okay. Get them to us right away. I like people who say this person is a fantastic speaker and it's a fantastic topic. That's how we learn about other things. That's how you can mentor me. If you've got a fantastic speaker that you had a topic you loved and you think it would be worthy of going to IW with, get it to us right away. I'll say my email a couple times here at the end, or if nothing else, send it through Susan and Susan will make sure it gets to me. Or you can send it to Stephanie. Stephanie will make sure it gets to me. We want IW to be a resounding success in 2023. Next slide, please. All right, coming out very quickly. Matter of fact, I believe by the end of this week, will be the call for volunteers to join the ASHI board, the nomination committee, or I believe it's the certification committee. Yeah, certification committee. That call for volunteers comes out again when? This week.
Yes.
We'll run through the next couple of months. Deadline, July 31st. Think about becoming involved in different ways. Nominations committee, obviously, well, maybe not obvious, but nomination committee is in charge of seating the officers and directors and vetting to make sure their qualifications are applicable for that position they're looking at. Certification committee works with the NCCA, and we have an organization called Seacrest that helps us with that. That is our certification that we hold for the ACI status, logo, and credential. It is a certified credential. That certification needs to be updated every 5 years. 1.5 years of pure heck in between, right as you lead into it. Otherwise, it's just a matter of maintaining and doing little tweaks here and there as you go through the process to hopefully make that last crush a simple thing. But that's what certification committee is about. They meet a couple of times a year unless they happen to be in that certification year. Then it might be a few more times. It's whatever's needed to get that certification reapproved. Nominations pretty much is a couple of meetings a year. And that's simply you are in the know of who has applied. It is confidential on who applies. As president, I don't even know who applies. That's up to the nomination committee. It is a committee that's close to those members. Certification is close to those members. Those are elected positions. They're not appointed. So please, if you're interested, if you know of anyone who might be interested in that or any of the other committees, including potentially getting on MRC or standards or education, please contact us. We're always willing to accept your time because it's valuable. But more importantly, your participation is invaluable for us as well. We're a member-driven organization, and we want members to give us ideas on how we can get better. Next slide, I believe, is going to be questions. So Stephanie, I think you can either have people raise hands. I don't see anything in the chat line on my screen.
It looks like Brick might have had a question he wanted to pose. What do you think, Brick?
Yeah, just basically, can the attendees get emails? And I already asked her. So Susan, could you say your email or the email for them to contact you so that they can get further information about the MRC or joining any of the committees that ASHI has?
Absolutely.
And if I can do this right, guys, I'll type mine in there.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, if you look in the chat section, if she's sending that, you type it, then they can have it and copy it and paste it. Otherwise, it's on the screen.
Okay, I just put mine in there for everybody. That way you can email me directly.
It does look like we might have questions underneath the question section. So it gets a little confusing. There's a chat and a question section. So give me one moment. Would you like me to read what we have?
Yes, please.
Okay, this may be off topic. If so, I apologize. At my chapter meeting later in April, we are discussing the issue of buyers waiving home inspections. Can I inform our members about what ASHI National is doing in response to this?
That's a really good question. And that pops up all the time recently, almost for every inspection request or interview request that I've gotten. The LA Times is doing a special on home inspections and people waiving. As I have been interviewed by several papers up on the East Coast, the CBS affiliate up in Chicago, and they're all asking about this. It is important to know that ASHI is doing our best to continue to promote for the consumer. For your protection, get a home inspection. We are in the consumer protection business. And that's what I encourage you all to say is we're protecting the consumer in the home sale process by educating them on the condition of their home. I can only do so much as president. ASHI National is going to do whatever we can, but feel free to broadcast that message however you can to say ASHI's in the consumer protection business. For their protection, they should get a home inspection. And if you want to refer to it, it is actually listed on the HUD documents at the bottom of the page. For your protection, get a home inspection. And then in fine print, it says, preferably by an ASHI certified inspector. That's one thing ASHI has done over the years with HUD, is on those forms, it says, for your protection, get a home inspection. I keep pointing people back to that. For your protection, get a home inspection. Walk and talk is not a binding home inspection. Waiving inspections doesn't do anything but promote the sale of property and then have people get surprised. And there are surprises that I know that have wound up with lawsuits against brokerages because they felt that they strongly told them they could not have a home inspection. It's a matter of those lawsuits being known, and that practice will hopefully disappear very quickly. I know some states are severely impacted by that trend. Fortunately, in my trade area, for the most part, the wise agents are writing in as is, but we still have the right to inspect. So as is a phrase you might be able to get some of your favorite realtors to start using. I know some places you're not allowed to actually have a relationship with the realtors based on your licensure requirements. So do whatever you can do within your license requirements to promote. We're in the consumer protection industry. Go out to your neighborhood organizations. I'm out working my neighborhoods. I'm out working whoever's calling me for interviews, promoting we're in the home protection, consumer protection business. Hope that answered the question. Might have been long-winded there.
Okay, let's see real quick. I have a few things here. Mark, would you like me to share that link with the group or?
Yeah, if you can put that up, that will show them the document that John's talking about.
Okay. Do you want me to put it up in the presentation or just share the link?
Either way.
I'm just going to share the link for now, just to ensure smoothness. Hold on. Oh, is that right? Hold on one moment. While I'm doing that, let's go ahead and do another question, and then while we're having answers, I can get that up. We have a few that came up in the question section. All right. In Pennsylvania, because of the hot RE market, real estate market, only 1 out of 20 houses get inspected. Is this the norm across the country, and what can ASHI do to help?
Again, some markets are much more severely impacted by other markets are. ASHI is out promoting, as I said, however we can for the consumer protection. They need to get a home inspection. If you have other ideas on other things that we can be saying, doing, reaching out, I'm open to ideas and suggestions. Every opportunity that comes up, I've been taking and talking to people. I've canceled a couple of home inspections to meet their media requirements. That's part of the privilege of being a president, is I'm trying to take care of my members. And my members are out there however I can to promote that. I do know some people are struggling because of that waiving of inspections. All I can suggest is that we keep hitting the media, we keep talking to the realtors, talk to your state license boards. I know in some cases, it's coming back for the licensing process because I'll say the approved trainees are being questioned and reprimanded by the state boards for not bringing out new license applicants because they have to ride along with an approved person for so many inspections. And they're saying, why aren't you bringing people out? And they're like, because the inspections are being waived. What are you going to do it so I can bring them out? I can't bring people out because I can't inspect because you're allowing them to waive inspections. So the more we can get that, I'll say churn, moving, hey, help us because we want to train these in those states. We want to train the trainees, but we can't because we're not inspecting ourselves. We're not inspecting ourselves because you're allowing real estate transactions to go through that don't have a licensed home inspector looking at them. So I know a couple of states are working at that, a couple of inspector organizations are working it that way on a local basis. Again, if you have other ideas on how we can do this, please send me a line. I understand from a couple of board members that are also on this call that I did type my email in the line, but it looks like it's only going to organizers and panelists for some reason. And I am not familiar enough with GoToWebinar. I can't see where it says send it to everyone. So my email is john at Wessling, WESSLING, the word inspections.com.
And I'll also be resharing these as well. If you'll give me one moment, I'll get them into the chat so everyone can see these emails.
Sounds great. I don't know why it's limiting me to only doing organizers and panelists, but that's okay.
Maybe it is my responsibility as they've given me the power, but I'll get that out.
All right, so while we're doing that, are there any other questions that you can look at for us, Stephanie?
I mean, I think that you've answered a lot of them. Let me check the chat section again, just to be sure. Please, if you have any other questions, you can post them now. And I will get those emails.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best to let Stephanie get this up. The other thing is, I know we're coming up on that hour mark, and we promised to hold as closely as possible to that hour, but we do want to make sure we get these email addresses up so that you can see them.
John and Susan, while she's doing that, have we set another date since we're going quarterly on this, when this meeting will occur again this year?
I think Rick, why don't I follow up with you on that, and we'll send out the date as soon as we have it available and get it on the calendar.
Okay, and we probably need to ask people if Wednesday night seems to be a good night. We picked this so we get out of the chapter dates per se, and so we're going to stay with Wednesday probably, and then make it what, 2 months from now, 3 months from now?
Most likely, yes.
So in June.
Just need to look at the calendar and make sure that it works for this group, and then we'll get it out.
Right.
Okay, I also have a question that was just put up. Can we get updated ASHI member lists annually, or a list annually?
Sure, just send me an email, susan.hill@ashi.org, and I'm more than happy to get those lists to you.
Okay, and before we close up as well, I would like to ask our panelists to review the chat and make sure your email is posted.
Yes.
Yes.
So the
I will
MRC,
also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
MRC is there.
Okay. I also have a note that says, and I apologize if I'm reading this wrong. MAC and Nova ASHI chapters meet the second Wednesday of the month. So
Yes,
that might
we
be a
have to make
scheduling
schedules during their meeting, so we'll have to make sure we do not do it the second Wednesday. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. OMG is also having their online forum tonight too.
Yeah, one of the things we're going to work on a list of when our chapters having meetings, so we can post that to the ASHI members so they can find their meetings and go to them.
Absolutely.
And we will do our best to avoid chapter meetings to hold this meeting. But
Yes.
guys, please, realistically, we're not going to be able to do it all the time for everybody, but at least we can rotate them to different days. So it's not the same chapter every time.
Okay.
We'll do
I've
our
also,
best.
oh, sorry. I've also
Nope, that's
been provided with a link for, it says that it is an updated HUD document. Would you like me to share that with the group or?
The HUD document?
Yeah, it says that it's an updated one or,
Yeah, you can send that out. Yep.
okay. Give me one moment. I'm having a hard time copying and pasting from this area. So, and we have some other members commenting just that Wednesday nights can be pretty busy.
Okay.
What night would they like?
Oh yeah, any suggestions, anyone? We have one for Thursday. Maybe this is we could do a poll on this in your next meeting.
Sure.
Drop us a
Yeah,
note
we have
on that.
Thursday and Monday or Tuesday. So we have two different members suggesting either Thursday or a Monday or Tuesday. And someone said, please not Mondays. So I think it's just going to be.
Mondays and Fridays are out. Everyone's told us that's a bad day. You know, Mondays after Sunday and Fridays before
Okay.
Saturday.
So maybe we're looking
We'll
at
do
Tuesdays
our
and
best. How about this,
Thursdays.
guys? We're gonna do our best because I do know personally a lot of chapters have events on Tuesday nights. So maybe we'll wind up moving to the
Thursday.
third or fourth week of the month because I know a lot of chapters do things earlier in the month. So drop us a line, help us remember when your chapter events, what night they meet, and we will do our best to accommodate the majority of our chapter leadership so that we can all be together.
Absolutely.
And I think with that, I know we're right on that hour mark. Out of respect of everyone's time, unless there's no one else with a dying question, I want to again thank everyone for your participation. We are here, as Mark said, and I believe I've said a couple of times, and I know Brick has said this as well. Please contact us. If you have some questions about legislation and how that might work, Todd is the one who is leading that charge.
Yep.
If you forget Todd's name, that's okay. John, who's leading the legislation? I'll be glad to put you in touch with Todd. Reach out to us. That's what we're here for, guys. We're all in it to make ASHI a success. Again, thank you all for attending. And Stephanie, was there any dying questions furiously typed in?
We did get one last one. How many chapters are there nationally?
Currently, there are around 57, I believe, Susan, that are actively meeting. There's a couple that might be able to be resurrected. COVID did in a number of meeting times. They got out of the habit of meeting, and some of the chapters are having trouble getting that motivation back. So right now it's right around 56, 57 active chapters.
And that's
US.
in North America. We also have some chapters north of United States.
Yeah, there are a few in Canada as well. All right. With that, I think I'll say thank you, everyone. Have a good evening, and we look forward to meeting again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Give me one moment and I'll get us closed up.
Oops. You stopped
Are we
recording, right?
Stephanie, are we off?